No matter where you are in the world or where you've been, you probably have some memories or feelings attached to that place. And more likely than not, there's a history to those places as well that help them become what they are today, what they mean to you, and what they mean to others. The coincidences that came into place that allowed you to experience those places gave you the chance to form some sort of attachment, even if it was unconsciously so. Whether it be the city or up in the mountains, the experience of being there in present and retrospect can form some sort of appreciation, which is what leads us to enjoy them and recollect them. And it's for this reason that we may want to take photos or buy a souvenir, something that will bring us back to that experience. Mono, or Mono Weekend Animation, deals with exploring various sites and landmarks throughout Japan and learning about their cultural impact and histories, all while capturing these moments on the side and having a good time. It's an adaptation based off of the manga of the same name created by Afro, who you may know as the creator of Yuru Camp. And like that series, this is another cute girls doing cute things anime. Satsuki Amamiya has just become a first year in high school, and not having any prior interests, she decides to open herself up and join the photography club. From there, she begins to develop a passion for photography, initially only taking photos of her senpai using her phone, but then deciding to find her own expression of photography and buying a camera after the third year's graduate. The photography club is also at risk of being disbanded, so Satsuki and An Kiriyama decide to conjoin with the cinema club to create the Cinephoto Club. And from then, your usual cute girls doing cute things shenanigans begin, with the gang traveling around Japan to different sites, usually under the context of helping Haruno Akiyama, a manga artist, with inspiration of what to make next. Mono has a strong premise, wanting to showcase the scenery and landmarks of Japan while showing the beauty of capturing what's available to us and how different mediums allow us to appreciate things we see from a completely different angle. The first two episodes make a great first impression. We get to see the setup for Satsuki's goals and what inspires her to become a scenic photographer. Just in her character alone, there's a good setup that's ripe for some lessons about the passion of photography, the preservation of memories, or even understanding that something shouldn't be photographed. There's a lot of opportunity for character development there, and I think if the anime used some of those, I would have liked her character more. Notice how I said if. We'll get back to that. Photography is an art because you get to express yourself or the world around you, and unlike drawing or painting, it allows you to capture a facet of reality and present the world through a different lens, literally. The anime's art and animation play into this too by portraying the beautiful landscapes and picturesque scenery. You can really get a sense of wonder by looking at some of these shots, and it feels like the animation studio also wanted to show off how great the world can look in a way. There's great use of dynamic camera angles that also bring about the photography theme of the anime and its recurring motif of expressing the world in different ways. This anime even teaches you a little about cameras and types of photographing techniques and even some video and cinematography. As someone who has a surface level interest in photography, the premise gave me the impression that I might be able to learn something from it. I love animes that teach you more about the central focus of their stories because it enhances the audience's understanding of certain actions while subtly attempting to get them to develop an interest in said niche, leading to a more personal attachment with the show and potentially going out and gaining more exposure to it outside of the anime. But photography and video aren't the only ways to showcase the landscapes of the world, as evident by Haruno's career as a manga artist. Traveling to different locations to get inspiration from the scenery and experiences and adapting them into a manga in-universe is Haruno's way of appreciating the world. There's unique ways to show off the environment around you in every medium, and it's through your own findings in which you can learn how to express to others what you see in the world. Another main focus of the anime is going around Japan and learning about its landmarks and culture around them. There's an episodic segment that's just about the main characters going out and finding the most drowned Maruishi Dosojin in their prefecture of Yamanashi. Dosojins are protective deities that are commonly placed in areas to ward off evil spirits or happenings. I like how the anime presents this concept in a way that teaches the viewer about what it is, albeit comedically and somewhat surface level. The episode begins with Dosojins being presented as this mysterious object that's commonly found around Yamanashi, and even Satsuki admits that it's something that she doesn't really pay attention to despite it being everywhere and having great cultural significance. And then we get to learn, through one piece of dialogue, that they're for protection, as I said earlier. There's probably many significant structures or places around us that we overlook simply because we have accepted them as just existing and without the curiosity to know why they exist and where. Now, going back to that if statement, unfortunately, I don't think this anime leans nearly enough into its initial themes, more so the topic of photography, because that's what was set up in the beginning. But after that, you just sort of get little trinkets here and there. Most of the anime is just cute girls doing cute things, which is nice, but I thought there would have been more than that. And funnily enough, Mono was actually originally meant to be a one shot, which might explain the shift to a more broad scope. I would have loved if the anime leaned more into teaching the viewer about photography or Japan's culture. It doesn't have to be signposting like, this is X because this is Y. It could be very simple to subtly educate people on certain subjects, and there's many examples that you could find of that happening even in the show itself. There's an episode where Haruno gets cursed by a spirit after going through a tunnel, which is so obviously a reference to other infamous tunnels in Japan like the Kiyotaki Tunnel that have a history of bad events and superstition. Now, perhaps my expectation for this anime could have skewed my perspective on it, but even without that, I think Mono still falls flat from a writing perspective. I know that this is not trying to be some magnum opus of the slice of life genre, and the enjoyment comes out of the shenanigans with the characters, but the point is that Mono doesn't follow through fully for me on all angles. Like, this is fine enough, but I can't say that I'm completely satisfied. I love everything that this anime tries to tackle, but in doing so, it never really feels thorough with any of its topics or themes that it introduces besides those first two episodes. But Mono seemingly never intended on being focused on one or two themes, because the title of the manga was chosen because of the word mono, meaning many things or everything, at least roughly. And knowing this basically answers most of my complaints about the anime and why it never completely satisfied my desire to learn a little more from the themes that it introduced. It's an amalgamation of everything. Instead of a 5-star restaurant, it's an all-you-can-eat buffet. Maybe I've been brainwashed by the internet into thinking that every piece of media ever made was made with some elaborate message thrown in, when I failed to sit back and enjoy the fun right in front of me. The whole point of the genre is just to watch or read the characters doing fun things. And that's not to say that stories of this genre can't have thought-provoking messages, as evident from animes like Bocchi The Rock and its themes about social anxiety. But Mono is just a simple pleasure. And if that's what it was intended to be, then I think that it hits all the marks on that front. There's a charm to the simplicity of it all, and despite my issues with the anime, I still get that fuzzy and heartwarming feeling. Sort of like a laid-back camp. We shouldn't take these places in the world for granted, especially as the world seems to be changing at an unpredictable rate. These views and structures won't last forever, and with society's pressure to succeed in life and move quickly, it can be easy to forget to slow down and appreciate the world that we have now. The luxuries that we have today may not be there tomorrow, so it's not a bad idea to indulge every now and again, to keep forming memories with people and places that we can look back fondly on, knowing we got to experience them. Every vista point, every park, and even every local cafe is a chance to experience something new and make memories. Sometimes it might even be better to capture those moments through pictures, videos, or even mental images to have a way to physically or digitally look back on where you've been. And for some, taking photos or videos is the closest way to expressing the beauty of the world. The city skylines, the natural landscape, and even the everyday sights. In times of depression or stress, it can be a nice, small reliever from the rest of the world to reminisce on your experiences through the captures you've made, to take you back to a time where the world around you seemed peaceful or exciting. Switch off the fast lane for a little, and maybe learn a little about your surroundings. Surround yourself with the outside world, and you might find a little something to appreciate your circumstances for bringing you to where you are now.